One day you wake up and realize the time you thought you had is already gone. And suddenly the things you worried about for years don't seem to matter anymore. The argument you held on to for months, the trip you kept postponing, the person you meant to call, the dream you told yourself you'd get to. Eventually, as if life were a waiting room with no closing time. But here's what no one tells you when you're young and certain and full of tomorrow. Some people spend their entire lives waiting to begin. And by the time they understand that, the hours are shorter, the knees are slower, and the list of people they wish they'd loved better is longer than they ever imagined it would be. There are twos in life that whisper to us when we're young, but only shout when we're old. We hear them early, in quiet moments, in the advice of people we didn't listen to, in the feeling that something important is slipping by. But we are busy. We are distracted. We tell ourselves we have time. There are 7 of them. 7 truths that come for everyone, sooner or later. And the only question is whether you'll hear them while there's still something you can do about it. The first truth is the one that finds almost everyone, and it finds them too late. Time is not waiting for you. We are raised in a strange way to believe in later. Later I'll travel. Later I'll tell them I love them. Later I'll take the risk, write the book, make the change, have the conversation I've been afraid to have. Later has a comfortable sound to it. It asks nothing of you right now. It lets you stay exactly where you are and still feel like someone with plans. But later is a lie we tell ourselves so convincingly that we begin to believe it. And then one morning, not a dramatic morning, just an ordinary one, you do the arithmetic. You count back the years and forward the years, and somewhere in the middle of that calculation, your breath catches. Because the time you were saving for later, you were living it. All of it. That was the time. That ordinary Tuesday. That unremarkable spring. That year you spent almost entirely indoors, telling yourself things would begin when conditions were right. People lie on their deathbeds, and they do not think about the meetings they attended or the promotions they chased. They think about the summer they didn't take, the father they didn't visit, the morning they woke up early and the light was beautiful, and they scrolled through their phone instead of just sitting in it. They think about the moments they were present for in body, but somewhere else in mind. One day you realize you were saving your life for a tomorrow that never came. The second truth is quieter, but it cuts just as deep. People matter more than success. There is a version of ambition that is healthy and good. The kind that builds things, creates things, leaves something behind. But there is another kind that is a slow thief. It takes evenings. It takes weekends. It takes the years when your children are small and loud and entirely themselves. And it replaces them with deadlines and strategy and the particular exhaustion of someone who is always achieving and never arriving. Men and women both fall into this. The belief that if they just reach the next level, earn the next number, receive the next acknowledgement, then they will be able to rest. Then they will be present. Then they will give the people they love the version of themselves those people deserve. But the next level always has a level above it, and the people waiting at home don't wait forever. Children grow up, spouses grow distant, parents grow old, and one day you look up from the work and realize that the life you were building was supposed to be for them, but it was built without them. No one at the end of their life wishes they had spent more time at the office. No one holds the hand of a spreadsheet. No one is comforted in the dark hours by their job title. In the end, it's not your job title that holds your hand. The third truth is one the body teaches you, whether you want the lesson or not. Your health is everything. When you are young and your body works the way it's supposed to, you treat it like furniture, something that's always there, that you barely notice, that you push and neglect and expect to simply keep functioning. You stay up too late. You eat badly more often than you admit. You carry stress in your shoulders, in your jaw, in the way you haven't taken a deep breath in 3 years. You skip the checkups. You wave away the warning signs. You are too busy being alive to tend to the machinery of living. And then something happens. Maybe it's gradual, an ache that becomes a diagnosis, a slowness that settles in the bones. Maybe it's sudden, a number from a doctor, a morning when you can't do what you could do yesterday. And overnight, health becomes the only currency that matters. Not your savings, not your reputation, not the square footage of your house. Just this, the ability to walk without pain, to breathe without effort, to wake up in the morning feeling like the day is something to enter rather than endure. Youth feels permanent from the inside. That's the cruelty of it. It doesn't announce its departure. It just quietly leaves. You don't notice your health until it becomes the only thing you think about. The fourth truth is the one that might set you free if you let it. No one is thinking about you that much. We spend extraordinary amounts of our lives inside other people's imagined opinions of us. We don't take the job because of what people might say. We don't speak our truth because of how we might be perceived. We dress for audiences that aren't watching, perform for crowds that dispersed hours ago, carry the memory of a single embarrassing moment like a stone in our pocket for years and years and years. And the devastating, liberating truth is this: the people you're so afraid of, they are doing exactly the same thing. They are inside their own heads, managing their own fears, worrying about their own image. They thought about you for perhaps 30 seconds, and then moved on to their own private theater of self-consciousness. All those years you spent living small, keeping your voice down, your dreams quiet, your authentic self tucked away for a safer moment that never quite arrived. You were performing for an empty house. Most people are too busy worrying about themselves to judge you. And the few who do judge you, Their opinion was never going to pay your bills, hold you at midnight, or be there at the end. Let it go. It was always theirs to carry, not yours. The fifth truth is one that has stolen years from more people than almost anything else. Holding grudges costs you years. There is a particular kind of pride that disguises itself as dignity. It tells you that to forgive is to surrender, that to reach out first is to admit defeat, that the other person must come to you, must apologize correctly, must understand fully, must suffer appropriately, before you are willing to release the tension you've been carrying in your chest like a stone. Think of someone who stopped speaking to a sibling over something that, if you asked either of them to explain it clearly today, neither could quite reconstruct without embellishment. A decade passed, 2 decades. One of them got sick. And suddenly the grudge, which had felt so solid, so justified, so necessary, turned to smoke. There was nothing there. There was never anything there substantial enough to cost 10 years of Sunday dinners and shared history, and the particular comfort of someone who knew you when you were young. The anger felt righteous, but righteousness is cold comfort when the person you are waiting to apologize to is no longer there to receive it. Forgiveness is not a gift you give the other person. It is a weight you put down for yourself. The stubbornness that keeps you from it doesn't protect you. It just makes the years heavier. Time doesn't pause while you wait to be right. The sixth truth is less dramatic than the others, but it may be the most important. You become what you repeatedly do. We tend to think of our lives as shaped by the big decisions, the marriage, the career, the city we chose to live in. And those things matter, but they matter far less than the invisible architecture of ordinary days. What you do when no one is watching, how you spend the hour before bed, whether you reach for the phone or the book, whether you have the difficult conversation or avoid it one more time, whether you move your body or don't, whether you tell the people you love that you love them or assume they already know. Character is not built in the dramatic moments. It is built in the small ones that no one witnesses and no one applauds. The person who is kind when there is nothing to gain from kindness. The person who does the work when it would be easy not to. The person who shows up again and again for the unremarkable Tuesday that turns out, years later, to be exactly what someone needed. You are, right now, building the person you will be. Not through some grand transformation you're planning for later, but through this moment, and the next one, and the one after that. The compound interest of daily choices is ruthless in both directions. It builds you up slowly, or it erodes you slowly. And either way, you barely notice until the result is standing in front of you. Your life isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in ordinary days. And the seventh truth, the one that tends to arrive last and land hardest, is this. It was never about the big moments. We are sold a version of a meaningful life that looks like a highlight reel. The wedding, the promotion, the vacation photographs, the milestone birthdays, the achievements that can be framed and hung on a wall. And we spend so much energy chasing those peaks that we live the valleys in a kind of impatience, waiting for real life to begin. But ask someone who is very old and very honest what they actually remember. They don't describe the award ceremonies. They describe a particular afternoon. The light was doing something specific. Someone they loved said something small and ordinary. And for a moment, everything felt exactly right. They described the kitchen table on a weekday morning, the way a friend laughed at something that wasn't even that funny, a walk taken for no reason, a conversation that lasted until 2 a.m. because neither person wanted it to end. The life you were chasing was hidden inside the life you already had. It was in the Tuesday evening meal, the phone call that went long, the slow Sunday, the imperfect, unremarkable, quietly beautiful ordinary. These 7 truths are not meant to make you feel behind. They are not a list of failures. They are an invitation. Because the fact that you are here, listening, thinking, feeling something stir in your chest, that means there is still time to let them change something. Call the person you've been meaning to call. Not tomorrow, today. Because today is the tomorrow you were counting on last year. And it came. Which means tomorrow is not guaranteed. And the person on the other end of that call is not guaranteed. And neither are you. Forgive someone, not because they deserve it, because you do. Because you have spent long enough carrying something that was only ever hurting you. Start the thing. Take the trip. Say the words. Be in the room, fully in the room, when the people you love are in front of you. Put the phone down. Look up. Notice the light. You still have time. Not unlimited time, no one has that. But today, you have today. And today, used well, is not a small thing. These truths don't come for us to break us. They come to wake us up. And the only real tragedy would be to hear them and go back to sleep. The saddest thing in life isn't growing old. It's realizing you never truly lived while you had the chance.